Remember, they lost Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston. They don't have Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson will be out potentially until March. That puts a lot of the pressure on Steph to carry the entire load offensively.
Nobody plays defense anymore, and you got to think about it. This is the first time in maybe 5 years there hasn't been any pressure. You're right. There hasn't been any pressure on them. I think they'll fly under the radar. They'll get in the playoffs, and no one's going to want to see them in the first round.
Are they, if they do get Klay back healthy, because just making the playoffs for a team that's been in the finals every year is really not much of an accomplishment. If they do get Klay back healthy, do you think this can be a team that can do some damage in the playoffs?
I think it depends on how quickly Klay gets acclimated and D'Angelo Russell fits once Klay is back.
Let me say this. Stephen Curry, the highest usage rate he's probably going to have for a long time, right? Now, with that comes potentially, they're one injury away. If something happens to him, or something happens to D'Lo or Draymond, like that's when they're right on the outside looking in. That's how crazy
that's for sure. But that could be said of so many teams, right? I mean, if LeBron James gets hurt, then we're not having that conversation about the Lakers. Let's talk about
I still think we're talking about the Lakers in the playoffs if LeBron gets hurt.
I mean, they didn't make the playoffs last year, where they had LeBron most of the year. Now, they have Anthony Davis. I get that. You are very high. I heard you earlier this morning talking with Al. Lakers, Clippers, which is the battle everyone is watching. You like the Lakers but love the Clippers.
I do. I think the Clippers are the best defensive team there will be in the NBA. And now a lot of that is dependent upon Paul George and that shoulder injury, him coming back full health. But full healthy? I mean, they're talking about Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Montrezl Harrell and Lou Will.
I agree with you, Jay, from the standpoint. I really like the Lakers on paper. They look great, but think about it. This past summer, they had at one point 2 or 3 guys on their roster. So to be able to build the roster they did, hats off to the management. But it takes a lot for chemistry. You know how important chemistry is in the locker room, on and off the floor. Clippers, on the other hand, have a team that completely bought in last year with no superstars. You add 2 of the most selfless superstars in the game that go both ways. Obviously, Paul George's shoulder is going to be a big concern, but I think it's the Clippers' championship to lose this year.
I'm with you all the way up till that point, because I think the Clippers will have a better record than the Lakers during the season for all the reasons you are naming. But if you get into a playoff situation where it does come together well, I'm going to have a very tough time picking against LeBron and Anthony Davis.
It's going to be tough. I mean, arguably probably the best duo in the game. There's some notable mentions, but it's a tough combination to go against.
It's an historically great duo. It is one of the greatest duos in the history of the game.
Agreed. Remember this, though. We talk about nobody playing defense and the season being long. Being a top 4 seed in the West, getting that home court advantage is a pretty big thing.
Absolutely.
So it's a major thing. And actually, I take my comment back. I retract it back about LA not having LeBron.
Thank you. I demand that you do.
I take it back.
Let's talk about your buddy from Duke there, Zion Williamson. Does he get his team into the playoffs this year?
I think they're going to be right there. I mean, out of all the teams in the NBA, they have the topmost 100 guys. They have 6 top 100 guys. And I'm also going to say this. He does not need the ball to be active. I mean, one game, I think, against the Bulls, he had 29 points and 12 or 13 shooting. I just have him penciled in as Rookie of the Year.
Just playing hard. I think they're a team with a unique makeup of rookies, veterans, role players. Guys like J.J. Redick are going to be huge in the locker room. Alvin Gentry finally has a team he can really do something with. And like you said, I think they'll be one of the teams that plays so hard that they're definitely going to have a chance to get in at the end.
What are guys in the league, so many people, myself, are just excited to see what Zion can do. But are guys in the league, will they be put off by the hype, and will they all be gunning for him as they face him during the season?
I think we live in an era where everything is going to be overhyped, and people are always going to, oh, he could have did this. Everyone's talking about he's not shooting. You got to stop what he's doing. You know, they said Shaq couldn't shoot, but they still couldn't stop him. You know what I mean? So I think Zion, with time, will develop his range and have more confidence in him. But just like Jay Will said alone, his athleticism, how hard he plays, and the way he runs, he's going to be in that 16 to 20-point range.
And just to tie it all back together, Granny, you talk about target.
Yeah.
Think for a second. There's a major target on the Golden State Warriors.
Sure.
Too,
there's no question.
Right? Like the beating that they put on people with the last 4 or 5 years.
Down. You got to kick them while they're down.
People are going to be going at them. They're going to be targeted. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.